Going to be talking about how to fly a plane backwards. How do we do this? You might ask yourself. Well, I'll tell you one thing. First off, we need to go over some stuff. One, these flaps on the back of your aircraft, they're called spoilers. They change the pitch of your aircraft. We're going to be using the word spoilers when we're talking about this later on while we're flying backwards. The vertical one is called your yaw rudder. That changes your yaw, and we're going to be using that a lot also later when we're flying backwards. Now the ones you see going in the opposite directions from themselves are your ailerons. Those are on the side of the wings. They roll the aircraft. Now we'll take this inside the aircraft real quick. This one right here tells you your orientation. If the blue and the brown are separated like this, and it looks like a Pokeball, you're good to go. That means you're leveled out. Perfect. The thing next to that is obviously your altimeter, but that's not going to make much difference at this moment when you're trying to fly backwards. This thing right here is going to go perpendicular with those bars going up the center right there when you're facing straight up. You'll see that also on the mini map right here. The triangle with the lines on the side is leveled out and parallel to the altitude bars going up the center of the map because we're leveled out. We're landed. That means you're leveled out. That's going to go perpendicular to those bars as soon as we're facing straight up. So that's something you're going to pay attention to when you're first trying to find your stall point to initiate the entry point for flying backwards. Now another thing we're going to go over before we take off is your braking. But we're going to pull out on the runway for that one. Braking and throttle techniques. Now, when they made the physics for this game, they made sure to not consult any scientists. But they wanted to have the plane be able to reverse on the runway without needing a taxi or something. Just had to make sure I was streaming and not talking for no reason. So, this physics, the physics that allows you to reverse the plane on the runway, also works in the air. It pulls you in reverse. Now, what's the way that we can get the most reverse? Holding the brake fully, right? If I release the brake, I'm no longer getting reverse thrust. I'm actually getting thrust forward. If I tap the gas, I can keep from killing the engine in the air and maintain full reverse thrust. So once we're in the air, what's what we're going to do? We're going to get in the air. Beautiful sun rising. But now we're in the air. Something to notice is that when I hold the brake for more than a second, it will shut off the engines. You don't want to do that, because then you lose all thrust capabilities in either direction whatsoever. Now, remember we were talking about that mini-map, the triangle with the lines on the side, your yoke, essentially, is your orientation. From a leveled out position, you're going to start pulling back. See that dark blue circle right above what I'm pointing my nose at? That looks like that because your render distance is a giant sphere. So as you go up the horizon, you'll see that the render distance gets darker towards the center because of the shaders. Show you that one more time. Level down, facing straight up. Darken the circle. Also, that thing on my map seems to be going crazy. Oh, it's perpendicular. So when you start going backwards, you're gonna naturally it's gonna pull up the tail. But if it's not doing that and you're going straight down, give it just a little bit of RB. The reason I say you want to give it RB instead of LB is because once you're in this position flying backwards, everything to control the flight is on the left hand, left side of the controller. So I can technically, like I'm doing right now, fly backwards with one hand. Enough of that. We got to re-entry and go back to this. So once again, leveled out, moderate speed, flying straight up, find your stall point, get your rhythm with your braking throttle, hold the brake fully, tap the gas, 10%, a little bit of RB, start holding LB. That yaw rudder, I'm forcing that towards the ground to cancel out this natural lift. Watch as I let go of LB, what happens. See that? Now I'm holding LB. I'm also moving the left stick in a circle to move all those flaps on the back and on the wings to add more drag to the front end to drop the tail. You want to keep the tail pointed to the horizon constantly so that you can maintain your airspeed to not stall the aircraft. Just like flying a plane forwards, you wouldn't want to try to fly straight up with this. You wouldn't want to go past your angle of attack that your vehicle is capable of, because then you will stall your aircraft. Just like flying forwards, flying backwards is exactly the same. Same concepts, same physics, different direction. So let's go over this one more time. Flying straight up, map's going crazy, touching nose pointing up. You're going backwards, holding the brake foot, tapping the gas so you don't kill your engine. Little bit of RB, holding LB, tails at the horizon, keep your knife position. Now, see, if you lean too much to the top side on this one, it sucks the front end over. So that's why if you do that, you want to fight against it by using those spoilers on the back. Usually you can do this by pushing the tail towards the ground because it'll give a natural lift or pull in whatever direction it's trying. Natural physics, aerodynamics of your aircraft is good. So with this plane, you would want to lean more towards the belly. And there you have it. Now, as long as you're holding the brake fully and tapping the gas only 10% throttle before the end of every second, then you can maintain this. It will pull you backwards really quick. The faster you're going, the better agility you have, and the more altitude you can gain. One more time. Leveled out. Going back. Finding your stall point. Facing straight up, stalling, going backwards. RB to knife position. And then LB to hold. Constantly holding the brake fully, tapping the gas every second. Maintaining your reverse flight. So like I was saying, balancing, knife position. You have to be in a knife position. If you're upside down, negative lift. If you're leveled out, negative lift. Let's show you what happens if you level out flying around. But we need some altitude so we don't die. Alright, here we go. So from a leveled out position, to maintain this, I would need to force the spoilers towards the ground. And see, and it's naturally just sucking it over because I was leaning too much to yaws. Yaw was doing too much, so it just whipped it around. concept for upside down, only way worse. I think we basically went over everything that we need to go over. Now let's try to talk about landing in reverse. To land in reverse, you obviously, like landing forwards, you need to line up to the runway. But to do this, we'll have to initiate flying backwards. So let's do that now. Approaching the runway. You have to be in a nice position to maintain your flight. However, you can't land like this. So as you're approaching the runway, getting the wing ever so closer to the ground, leveling out more and more each time until you can gently set your wings. I mean, you're landing. Obviously, not landing on the wings. I did it a little bit, but that's okay. No worries, guys. And that's landing in reverse. Let's do it again. Sure go. First off. Balancing it backwards. One. Just into the runway. Landing here. Tilting aircraft, setting it. So like I was trying to do earlier when I was trying to fly leveled out in reverse, I was forcing the spoilers towards the ground to push that tail down like that. Because otherwise the nose would drop and then flip the aircraft upside down, which isn't something you want to do unless you're trying to die. So I did that. When you start to level out more and more, tilting the aircraft with your ailerons, it will be necessary to push your spoilers towards the ground. So, one more time, everybody. Flying straight up. That's your stall point. Move it to a knife position. Balance it. Line up to the runway. Landing gear down. Until landing. And a high-speed taxi. And that's it, boys and girls. That's how you do it. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's it. That's flying backwards. Enough said. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click that bell icon to stay up to date on my latest shenanigans, and smash that like button. And remember, you guys are the real heroes.